welcome back to my channel. Today I have a spring makeup tutorial for you, and this is a really pretty warm rosy toned makeup look, and it is one of my favorite looks to wear, especially during the warmer months. I've just really been craving lots of pinks and corals and rosy tones. So the palette that I use today primarily is the Becca Ombre Rouge palette, which is my favorite palette at the moment. It has just a lot of pretty, like, as you can see, pinks and oranges and red tones, and it just creates such a pretty soft smoky effect. So that is what I created today. I really winged out my shadow to the side, so I'll show you guys how I do that, but I kept the liner really soft, so it's dramatic but soft, so it's definitely wearable during the day or night. And then I kept the lips not too bright, but it is a pop of a rosy toned pink. And if you wanted to amp this up for night, you could definitely go for like a really dramatic plum or hot pink. And if you wanted to tone it down, you could go with like a pinky nude. So this look is really versatile. I could see myself wearing this to work or even going out in this look with just a few tweaks. If you wanted to add lashes, you totally could. But other than that, it's a pretty simple look. It doesn't use a ton of colors, but it is really fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you want to see how to create this rosy toned spring look, then just keep watching. Okay guys, so we're going to start off with complexion today. So for spring, I really love to focus on a really fresh, dewy, lightweight foundation look. I don't like anything to look too heavy, especially when the weather gets warmer. You don't want to look like you just have a ton of makeup on your face and it's going to feel like it's sweating off. That's just not a good look. So I always like to start off with something very lightweight. But today what I'm going to do underneath my foundation is use a little bit of an illuminator. So you can use the Becca Poured Shimmering Skin Perfector or the liquid. I like them both, so whichever one you have, they both work. Today I'm going to be using the cream one. I'm just going to be using a little synthetic blending brush. This is the 787 from Bdellium Tools, and I'm just going to get a little bit on the brush and just kind of buff this onto the high points of my face. And I'm not using a primer today. You can, if you want, you can always use like an illuminating primer, but if you already have a highlighter that's liquid or cream, you can just use that. Okay, next I'm going to prime my eyelids. I usually do prime my eyelids before I do foundation, even if I'm doing my face first. This is the NARS Pro Prime eyeshadow primer. It is my favorite. It just really makes your eyeshadows last. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do foundation first today because the eye look that we're doing is not going to have a ton of fallout. So I'm going to go ahead and do foundation, eyes, and then I'll do my concealer in case there's a little bit of fallout. But I'm going to go ahead and start with foundation. I'm going to give this a good shake. This is the new Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. It's such a pretty lightweight foundation. I mentioned this in my last favorites video. And I've been wearing this a lot. You just need to pump it up a few times to load up the little dropper. And what I like to do is just drop a little bit on the back of my hand. Usually 2 pumps is enough for me. 3 if I'm not going to be using another concealer, but usually 2 is a good amount. What I like to do is go in with a foundation brush and just start brushing it on, and then I will blend it out with a beauty blender, but I like to just put it on with a regular brush first. And this is what the foundation looks like up close. As you can see, you can still see some of my freckles, but I think it just looks really pretty and dewy, and it's not too heavy. I would rather it look fresh and natural during the warmer months than just completely look like I'm wearing a mask and cover up all my imperfections. But what I am going to do to cover up those little imperfections just enough is take my Makeup Forever HD stick and just put this anywhere that I have any breakouts. I have like a little acne scar right there. I have a little one on my nose. And what I like to do is just take a concealer brush. So I'm not putting the foundation stick right on those areas. So I just like to dot it anywhere that I have extra redness. And then I will just take my finger and blend those out. Okay, next I'm going to start on the eyes, and then I'll come back and finish the rest of the face. Okay, today I'm going to be using my Becca Ombre Rouge palette. This has been my favorite palette lately. It's such a pretty, like, warm, rosy toned palette. I think it is so pretty for spring and summer. So what I'm gonna do to start off is just take a big fluffy brush, and I'm gonna start off with this lightest cream color. And I'm just gonna sweep this all over my lid as our base color. And this will just help everything else blend better once it's on top, because it's not sticking straight to that primer. Okay, next I'm going to use my favorite color in the Becca Ombre Rouge palette, and this is this light pinky lavender color, and it looks really subtle once it's on your eyes. I'm going to take a flat brush and just pack this color all over my lid. I think this is such a pretty lid color because it's just a hint of color without being super bright or dark. And it's really pretty because it has like, not a super shimmery finish, it has just a slight pearl to it. So it's like a matte with just a little bit of a sheen. So it's really pretty because it's not completely flat and dull looking, but it's not like a super intense shimmer either. Okay, so for the look today, we're not going to do really intense liner, but I am going to kind of smoke out my crease. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to first take a fluffy crease brush. This is the Sigma E25. Just a nice, not too big, but it's very fluffy. And I'm going to go in with the third color in the Becca palette, and it's a little bit warmer and darker than the first color that we used. And I'm going to start by putting this in my crease and blending it up towards the brow and out towards the end of my brow. So you can see I can have a line going this way, and I haven't connected it back down yet, but I need to keep blending. Okay, next I'm going to take the darkest shade in the palette, which is kind of like a burgundy brown with a little bit of like red in it. It's so pretty. And I'm just going to define my crease a little bit more with this. I already have some definition going on with the first color we laid down, but this is going to go more in the deep part of my crease. And I'm also going to take just a little bit on this inner corner to add a little bit of a spotlight effect so the center looks a little rounder. But just a tiny bit. So now I'm going to go back in with the brush that we used to put down our first crease color and just kind of blend out that dark color. Okay, so we are going to clean up under the eyes before we move on and finish the face. So if it looks a little dark, that is why. But next I'm going to go ahead and go in with another crease brush, and I'm going to add a pop of color. So I'm going to go in with this kind of orangey warm tone brown, and I'm just going to blend this kind of right in this inner part of my crease and kind of buff it into the crease. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring it up from the inner corner up towards that inner part of my brow, and I know it's kind of a weird shadow placement, but it's going to give it a really cool warm effect. And then I'm going to lightly blend everything together so there's no harsh lines in between where the colors stop and meet. And if you want to add more of a pink tone to this look, you can use Cupcake from Makeup Geek, and I'm going to use a little bit of that just to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush, pick up a little bit of Cupcake, and just lightly run this kind of on my crease, kind of over the other colors, just to add more of a pink tone, and drag it out. Okay guys, next I'm going to go ahead and apply my concealer, and then I will show you how I finish my eyes. I'm going to use my Makeup Forever HD Concealer in R22. This is the brightening highlighting shade, and then I'm going to go on top of that with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color Custard, which matches my skin tone. So I'm going to apply these and I will be right back. Okay, so now that my concealer is done, I'm going to go back in with my Becca palette, and I'm going to take a mix of these two shades and run that along the lower lash line, and then probably deepen it up with this darker color. So I'm just going to use a mix of everything on the lower lash line, to be honest. Start off with this lightest color to kind of work as a background color, and see I kind of connect it to that outer edge, and I like to bring this color down pretty far for this look. And you can go back in with like your crease brush. Just kind of blend this outer corner to that lower lash line. Then I'm going to go in with the middle shade, which is just a little bit darker, and focus this towards the outer half. And lastly, I'm going to take this darker color and just keep this really close to my lashes and kind of smoke out this outer corner. Then I just go back with my pencil brush and buff it all together. And I know it looks kind of crazy right now, but you just gotta trust the process. Okay, next I'm gonna take a brown liner for the top today. I'm gonna use something less harsh than a black. And I'm gonna take the Becca Brown gel liner in the color Renaissance. And I'm just gonna take a small liner brush. This is the EO5 from Sigma. And just put a thin line on my upper lash line, because we are going to smudge it out. It doesn't really matter. And just wing it out a little bit. Then I'm going to go back in with the brush that we used to apply that dark color on the lower lash line, and I'm just going to smudge it out. And it's good that it has a little bit of that leftover shadow. So we want it to be kind of smoky, not a really precise line. So that is what the liner should look like when you're done, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, we are back. I actually just did my hair. I'm going to now apply some mascara. I'm just going to curl my lashes really quickly. I'll give you guys a little secret. I actually heat up my eyelash curler with a hairdryer before I curl my lashes, and it just helps it last a lot longer. And I actually did that off camera, and I'm just recurling them, but that is how I always curl my lashes. So now I'm just going to apply some mascara. I am using the Maybelline Full and Soft, which is my all-time favorite. Just gives your lashes a really pretty fluttery look. And if you want to, feel free to add some individual lashes. I'm not going to today because I just feel like wearing mascara today, and I feel like it looks dramatic enough, but if you want to, go ahead and do that. Okay, next I'm going to apply a little bit of the highlighter that I'm going to use on my face to the inner corners of my eyes to finish off the eyes. I'm going to be using Champagne Pop from Becca today. Opal would also look really good with this look, or their Moonstone highlighter. So whichever highlighter you want to use. I tend to switch it up, but I kind of wanted to use kind of a warmer highlight, so that's why I'm going to use this one. Okay guys, so moving on to the cheeks, I'm going to start off with my NARS Laguna bronzer. This is my all-time favorite bronzer, and I'm not going to be doing really harsh contouring today because I want to keep the look kind of fresh. And I think I love contouring for adding shape to your face if you want to really define your cheekbones. But I think bronzing, like just making your skin look sun-kissed, is really pretty for the spring. So actually first what I'm going to do, I forgot this step. I'm just going to set my cheeks, not like my cheekbone area because I like to keep that dewy, but just this part of my face where I have more concealer and stuff. It just helps the bronzer blend better. And in my T-zone where I get oily. But I like to keep my cheeks really dewy. Okay, so going in with NARS Laguna bronzer, my favorite brush to apply bronzer is the, well, the numbers wore off of it because I've had it for so long, but it's the tapered face brush from Sigma, and these will all be linked down below. So I like to just start off like right on this part of my cheek. Not like a super low contour, more like right under the cheekbone. I always like to bring it down my neck and chest because if I don't have any fake tan on, my chest is just so much lighter than my face, even without makeup on. So I think it's because I'm always in the sun, but I'm always, you know, wearing golf clothes, so my chest is still really light, but my face gets tan. So for blush today, I'm going to be using my favorite spring pink blush, and this is Flower Child from Becca. It's just a really pretty warm pink, and it adds such a pretty pop of color to the cheeks. It has a very slight shimmer in it, but nothing too shimmery or too shiny. So I'm just going to take my Sigma F10 blush brush and tap off the excess, and I'm going to pop this right on the apples and then blend it up, because I think blending it up really lifts your cheekbones, but the apples really give you that really playful, youthful look. So I'm just going to apply a generous amount of blush today because I really want this to be a really fresh, rosy look. And then I like to take my powder brush and just lightly blend around it, and that'll get rid of any of the harsh lines, but still leave that intensity where you placed it. Okay, then for highlight today, I'm going to be using Champagne Pop. Like I mentioned earlier, it's such a pretty peachy gold, and I'm just going to apply that to the very tops of my cheekbones. And then I like to go in with a smaller brush to highlight my nose and my Cupid's bow. Now if I'm lazy, I will just use the same brush, but I think it looks better when you use a smaller brush. So I'm just going to go down the very center of my nose. You don't want to apply too much on your nose because it just looks a little crazy. And then I'm going to put a little bit on my Cupid's bow. I like a lot my Cupid's bow. You just have to make sure it's blended out. And I put a tiny bit on my forehead. Okay, so moving on to lips, I'm going to start off with a lip liner. This is the Smashbox Always Sharp lip liner in the color Rosebud, which is very fitting for this look since we are doing a rosy toned makeup look. I'm just going to start by outlining my lips with this. Okay, and then I just slightly filled them in with that. And next I'm going to use another Smashbox lip product, and this is the Be Legendary lipstick in Primrose. Again, very fitting with the rose names, and I'm going to apply this. This is again a really pretty rosy color. Okay guys, so here is the finished look. I just zoomed you in so you can see the whole look a little bit better. So as you can see, we have our bold brows, really smoky plums and roses on the eyes, and then a really soft wing liner, really rosy pink cheeks, lots of highlight and glow, and then the rosy pink lip. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think this look is so fun and fresh for spring, but still plays with some color without being too crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. All products and links to where to buy them will be down below, and I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!